today's episode, we are going to be handling our image picking functionality. In the last episode, we built that component that's going to allow us to display the selected image. And so today, let us go right in and roll in our image picker. Right into Xcode, the first thing I want us to do is to jump into our chat room screen. So inside of our chat room screen, we need to append a modifier that is known as the photo picker modifier. And essentially what this is going to allow us to be able to do is to be able to select photos from the user's photo gallery. And the cool thing about this is we don't need to add anything in the info plist file because this new photo modifier sort of handles all of that for us. So I'm going to zoom out of SwiftUI preview a little bit, make sure everything is working. And the first thing I want us to do is just right below here, I am going to add a modifier, the photos modifier. So I'm going to say photos picker. Actually, we need to import a couple of things. So first off, we need to import, I believe it's called Photos UI, which is what we're going to be using today, the Photos UI framework. So now let's say Photos Picker, where is it? We are looking for the one that takes in an array of items. So let's see. Photos Picker, the selection, nope, I want the one that has an array right there. So there's multiple variants of this photo picker modifier. There is one that you could use to select a singular photo. And in our situation, we want to be able to select multiple photos, as you can see from these components that we've built so far. So that way we can upload multiple media items at once. So in this situation, it requires two properties. It requires a Boolean value that lets you present it, and it requires a bindable of photos picker item. So let's go right into our chat room view model. So I'm going to go right into our chat room view model. I'm just going to command and click into this. And we're going to create those Boolean value. So the first Boolean value, I'm going to make it a published property because remember it's a bindable. So I'm going to say, let's see, what's a good name for this? I'm going to say show photo picker. And the starting state is going to be false. And the next thing that we need to do is I'm going to create a published property called that is going to hold the array of the photo picker item. So it's going to be called, what's a good name for this? I'm going to say photo picker items. And of course, like I said, it's going to be an array of photo picker item, which is going to be an empty array upon initialization. Okay. So it's saying there's no photo picker item in scope. That's because we need to import the Photos UI framework. So Photos UI framework, I think that should solve that if I am not wrong. And I think we need to import SwiftUI as well, actually. And now it's going to go away. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to bind these two published property to our modifier. So let's go back to our chat room screen. And now we're going to say view model, $view model dot show photo picker, right? And the other one is going to be $view model dot photo picker items. So that should fix our situation. Let us refresh our SwiftUI preview, make sure everything is compiling as we expect it to. Okay, that's awesome. The next thing I'm going to actually do here now is I'm going to create a Boolean logic. I want to be able to do something like this. Essentially, I want to be able to do a view model dot show photo picker. Maybe not even show photo picker. Something like show photo picker preview. Let's just call that. I think that sounds like a good name. If that is equals to true, then we're going to show this media attachment preview. Essentially, we don't want to show this media attachment preview right here, right? Until a user actually selects a photo or records an audio. So this Boolean value doesn't currently exist inside of our view model. And we of course need to go fix that. But I just wanted us to take this, go into our chat room view model. And now let us create a Boolean logic that is going to handle this for us. So right here, I'm going to create a computed value. I'm going to say show photo picker. It's going to be a computed Boolean logic. And when do we want to show photo picker? Well, it's pretty simple. Whenever this photo picker items is not equals to nil, so if it's not empty, then we want to show this photo picker preview. I don't know if that makes sense. So whenever a user selects a photo from the photo gallery, these guys are going to get populated with photo picker items. If that is not empty, then of course we want to show the preview. So now let's go back to our chat room screen. Let's make sure everything is working as expected. Okay, that is good. And now let's see. So I'm going to go here. Actually, not empty. It's not empty. Yep. So we need to invert that. So the photo picker items is not empty. Show the photo preview. So let's wait for a SwiftUI preview. That looks good. Okay, so what else do we need to do? Well, now we need to actually go convert this photo picker items to UI image views. And we're going to do this in a step-by-step series over the next couple of episodes. But the first step of this equation is for us to convert the photo picker items to a UI image that we can actually display so the user can see the photo they have selected. So let's go back to our chat room view model and let's create another array. But these arrays are going to be, let's think here for a second. What do we want these arrays to be? Well, let's just make them an array of UI image view. So we're just going to say selected photos. It's going to be an array of UI image, which is a UI kit image. And it's going to be an empty array upon initialization. So now we're going to take the selected photos. This is what we're going to pass to our media attachment preview. So now let's go back to our media attachment preview file. Okay, now I'm going to ask for this photos right here. So I'm going to say selected photo is an array of UI image view. I want you to pass that into this media attachment view upon creation. So now we're going to take the selected photos. We're going to use that as our for each, as our enumeration. So I'm going to say image here. And this is probably going to need an ID. Let us use self. Okay. Now our preview should yell at us, which is true. So we're going to scroll to the bottom and let's just leave an empty array here because we don't really have anything to pass into this preview for now. Let's see. So our audio attachments, everything is good. Now let us go back to our chat room screen because it should yell at us right inside of this bottom safe area method. Let us fix that error. So where are we going to get the selected photos from? Well, thankfully the view model exists. So we're just going to say view model, the selected photos that we declared inside of that view model. So we have our scaffolding set up now. Let us go right ahead and actually select photos. So whenever this photo picker, we want to trigger, whenever this image picker button is selected, we want to present the photo picker. We want to toggle this Boolean value of show photo picker to true. And the way we're going to do that, of course, is to go to our text input area view, because this entire view right here is called the text input area view. We built that a couple of episodes ago. So now we need to add an action to this image picker button. Okay. And this image picker button for now is going to be doing a bunch of stuff, right? It's going to be doing image picking. It's going to be doing audio recording. It also contains the send button. So honestly, I'm going to do something slightly unique here. I'm going to create an enum to handle or represent the potential different actions that can happen inside of this text input area. And so I'm going to come down here. I'm going to create an extension on this text input area. And I'm just going to create an enum, and I'm just going to call the enum user action. And I'm going to say case, let's see, what are the potential things that we could do here? For now, let's just say attach media, perhaps. Case attach media, or case present photo picker. Am I doing the right thing here? Yeah, sure. Or we could just say case present photo picker. Okay. And I'm using an enum here because, like I said, this is going to also be responsible for the audio recorded and the send button. And you're going to see that in the next episode, how we're going to use this enum to drive this, to delegate these actions. So now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to create, of course, this as an unsend handler. So we're going to convert this from an unsend handler to an action handler. So I'm going to change this to action handler. And this action handler is going to take in something now, an action. And this action is going to be of type user action that we just defined below. And in this situation now, we need to specify which type of action we are firing. So I'm going to say action handler inside of the send message. Let's actually go right here and put another case. Let's say case send message. I think that's a good case name. Yep. And now let's go up here and say action handler, we want to send message when it's the send message button being triggered. While for the image picker button, we want to say action handler dot present photo picker. I think that's a good name. And this is going to yell at us inside of the chat room screen, because if we jump inside of the chat room screen, this text input area now is going to pass in an action for us. So it's going to return an action like this. And now we're no longer just going to be triggering the view model that send message. Let's go into our chat room view model and create something that can iterate over this action, over this user action that's happening inside of the text input area. So we're going to go into our chat room view model. We're going to scroll down here and let's create another public method. Let's call this one func handle text input area actions. I think that's or just under text input area. And the parameter that it's going to take in is action, which is going to be of type text input area dot user action. And now we're going to switch on action. Okay, so now when the case is present photo picker, you can already imagine what we're going to do here. We're going to say show photo picker is equals to true. And this show photo picker is this Boolean logic we created earlier in the episode that is right up here that is going to be responsible for presenting the photo picker. So now let's scroll back down here. Meanwhile, for send message, here we're going to say send message. Okay, so this is when the send button is tapped. So let's go back to our chat room screen. And instead of directly calling the view model to send message from here, now we're just going to say view model dot handle text input area action. We're going to pass in the action that was triggered, and let us wait for Xcode to compile. We have an error. Let's see what that error is. If we jump in here, oh yeah, we need to fix this preview. So we're going to say action in. We don't even need the action, so we can just make this an underscore. Now let's go back to our chat room screen and make sure everything is working as expected. I don't know if that makes sense. Really what we're just trying to do is, we know this text input area is going to be doing a bunch of stuff. It's going to be sending messages. It's going to be recording messages. It's going to be, triggering the photo picker. So it makes sense for us to have some sort of a callback handler that has an enum of all the different actions that it will be firing. So now when we click on our photo picker, look at that. It presents this nice screen for us, which is the photo picker screen. When we select multiple images, everything seems to be working as expected. Now, when we click this add button and it dismisses, right, you would expect us to show the list of images. And that's exactly what we're going to handle next. But before we do that, I would actually like for us to add a limit to how many photo items or photo picker items you can actually select. So let's scroll up here. Where is our, inside of our photo picker modifier, I'm going to create new lines for these. Right here, I'm going to put a comma and I'm going to say, let's see, maximum selection count is we want a photo selection count. And for now, I'm just settling for 6. Of course, you can make this anything that you really want. It doesn't really matter. That's sort of up to you. So I'm just going to make this 6, so you can only select 6 photos or 6 videos at a time. And now let's present our photo picker again, make sure everything is working as expected. It's still working. Now let us go convert these photo picker items to actual UI image that we can display to our user so they can see a preview of the actual photos that you've selected. So now if we jump back to our Chatroom view model, which is where all of the magic is going to be happening, this Chatroom view model now needs a way to be able to convert these photo picker items. If we scroll up here, this array of photo picker items, we need to convert it to an array of UI image. Thankfully, this is pretty easy and trivial for us to do. All we need to do is to create some sort of a listener using combine. So we're going to say private func. I'm just going to say on photo picker selection. I think that's a good name. And what is this photo picker selection going to be responsible for? Well, we're going to be using combine to listen for when this photo picker items, right? Remember, this photo picker item is a published property. And when something is published, well, it means it has a publisher, right? It's combined. So you can actually listen to it. So we're going to say whenever this photo picker item, whenever something happens to it, we're going to sync. We want to listen to the new value. I'm going to say photo items. Let's just call it that. And of course, because we're good developers, we're going to break the strong reference to prevent any memory leaks. And let's also go ahead and unwrap self in here just to make sure we don't have to use that optional self. Okay. So what's going on here? Well, we're listening for whenever whenever the photo picker library actually passes back a photo picker item for us, what do we want to do, right? We want to convert that photo picker item to a UI image view. And it's relatively easy. All we need to do is, let's run it for each in here. So we're going to say for photo item and photo items Okay. So what do we want to do? Well, we're going to say let data is equals to try await, because this is an asynchronous function, photo item dot load transferable. Let's see, we want this one, transferable type. And let's actually extract this functionality into its own method. So right down here, I'm just going to create a quick function that's just a little bit better. I'm going to call this function parse photo picker items. I think that's a good name. And this parse photo picker items is going to take in an array of photo picker items. Photos picker items. And this is going to be an asynchronous function. Okay. So now I'm going to migrate this for each right here, right in there. And here, I'm just going to call this self.parse photo picker item. I'm going to call a task here. I'm going to create a task. So I'm just going to say task, open a bracket, close the bracket. And what do we want to do? Of course, we want to await this, and we're going to pass in the photo items that we get in right here. Okay, I know that's a little bit, but we're going to walk through this. So we're trying to convert this photo picker item object to a UI image object that we can display. And now, through this load transferable data method, we can say data.self. And now we're going to say let UI image is equals to UI image as a data constructor. So you can construct a UI image with a data, and we're just going to pass this data into this UI image parameter. And these are all optional. So I'm going to do some guard-like unwrapping here. So I'm going to say guard, and I'm going to say else, of course, return out of the scope. So if everything goes smoothly, we have our UI image. So what do we need to do? All we need to do now is say self.selected photos dot, let's insert it, or we can append it, whichever one. Let's insert new element of UI image at 0. Okay, so we are actually having a little bit of issue here. We need to say photo picker items. I think that's better. Yep. Okay, so now let us fix this combined issue. Right now, we need to store our cancelable inside of a subscription. So I'm going to say store. Do we have any subscriptions yet? I can't remember. We do. So perfect. Everything is good. All right, now we're going to, again, just a quick explanation. We're just listening and subscribing to this publisher called Photo Picker Items, right? Which is exactly the array of the selected photos that the photo picker will give us when we actually select the photo. And then we're converting those photo picker item objects to a UI image object using this method called load transferable data. So first we convert it to a data, and then we convert that data to a UI image, and then we take that UI image and append it to our array of selected photos. So now let's take this onPhotoPickerSelection method. Let's pass it into our initializer, because if we do not call it upon initialization, there's no way for us to actually see what we're doing. Now let's go to our chat room screen. We are almost done for the episode, and let us preview the beautiful work that we just did. Let us validate all these assumptions. So if we go unpick the image picker button, select a bunch of photos, and if we click add, look at that. as you can see, it's actually adding items. But the last bit of the equation that we need is, of course, we need to go into our media attachment preview, which is, this scroll view right here. And instead of using a dummy or a stub image, let us replace that with the actual UI image from the selected photo. So here now I'm going to say photo is of type UI image, or you could call it image, doesn't really matter. And we're just going to pass that in here, photo. And so now this is going to ask for a photo, and we're just going to pass that as image. Or maybe we should just call it an image, actually. So I'm going to call it image. Okay, so why is this yelling at us? Oh yeah, we need to make this a UI image. I'm sorry, guys. So that's a UI image, and the UI image that we want. Actually, is that the right syntax? I believe it is. Let's go to our chat room screen and let us validate this really quickly. So let us select a bunch of photos. And when we click add, look at that. We actually have our selected photos, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And so that's pretty much it for this episode. In the next episode, let me actually go back to the media attachment preview really quickly. I'm going to comment out this audio preview because we're going to handle that in the next episode. In the next coming episode, we are actually going to make this this media attachment preview a little bit more dynamic, because as it stands, it can only show images, right? We want to be able to show video previews and also show audio previews as well. But I think this is a pretty good place to end for now. And we're going to pick up right off from here in the next episode. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate the support. Please like and subscribe. It means the world to me. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.